today. Welcome to Literacy Connections Abound, teaching books, resources, and tools for all of Kentucky, because this resource is brought to you through the Kentucky Department for Libraries and Archives and the Institute of Museum and Library Services. I'm Deborah Salyer. I'm your implementation and training specialist, and with me today is my left arm and my right arm. So Amy, if you would introduce yourself to our people, and then you can pass it to my right arm.
Sure. I'm Amy Olson, and I am your youth services consultant. KDLA is just thrilled to have this connection with Teaching Books, and I want to encourage you just to really explore this. And there's so much meat involved in Teaching Books and resources for us. So I think we have a real treat ahead of us. And let's see, Kim Deck is here too.
Hi, I'm Kim Davick. I'm the implementation and training manager at Teaching Books, and just thrilled to be part of this partnership, working with all of you. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Kim. And Kim is going to be watching the chat, as well as Amy, as we walk you through some basics of teaching books, and then give you a tip of what's of more. So our brief agenda is this: today, in about 20 minutes-ish, we're going to learn real quickly some tips and tricks for searching. We'll talk about how to save the things that you find when you have done your searching. And we will also learn how to give that to someone else. That's one of my favorite things about teaching books, is the ease of sharing it with your community, whether it's your colleagues or your parents or your community, but it's easily shareable to whoever you'd like to give it to. But then, as I often do, but wait, there's more. There's so many things. We're just going to take a little peek at some of the resources and tools that are available for you, so that you can kind of get your feet wet. And then in the fall, we'll be having a full launched webinar series, kind of divided up by where you are and what you do. So there'll be one for public librarians, one for schools, one on early literacy, one on so many other things that there will be a menu, and you can pick and choose the things that work for you. What actually is Teaching Books? Teaching Books is where books come to light. You have the books, and we actually also have some books now, because as you might have seen from my email address, we are part of the Overdrive family. Overdrive has the books, both ebooks and audiobooks and magazines. Some of you have Sora at schools, and some of you have Libby in the public library world. And we are the resource of member of the family. We have activities and lessons and book trailers and more. I'm going to show you that today. We're going to start by looking at teaching books for schools. But you should also know that there is a teaching books for libraries. So I'm going to put the link to this in the chat. You can follow along if you like, or you can just sit back and soak it all in. If you happen to be watching this as a video, you can also do a play and pause. After I talk about something for a moment, you can pause the tape and then try it yourself, and then play some more and do it some more. So we can do a play and pause. You're welcome to do that. But if I come over here to my toggle menu, you can see that right here it says Teaching Books for Schools. And if I click on the toggle menu and I scroll down, I'll see Teaching Books for Libraries. I'm going to open that in a new tab. And you should know, whoa, that is very big. So it doesn't have to be that big. So let me adjust that so you can see. So you can see it's almost the same thing. You have a search bar in the middle. You have your Teaching Books for Libraries. This is for public libraries. And you'll see that the terminology is a little different. You'll see for professionals, for readers, and then on the school side, you will see for students and educators. So as you see, it's for adults and it's for readers. So no matter what your job is, if you use books, Teaching Books has something for them, from picture books to Shakespeare and all the books that are hot and new that are coming out. So let's say, for example, let's just do a search. I was thinking about the Kentucky Bluegrass Awards this morning, And I know one of the books is a nonfiction book, which is one of my favorites, called Haiku Ooh. So Haiku Ooh, Celebrating the Disgusting Side of Nature, by Lynn Brunell and Julia Patton. Here at the top, you can see on this book page, you see the cover, you see some resources on the left-hand side, you see some featured digital media up at the top, like a guest blog post. There's a video book reading, a Meet the Author recording, how to say the author's name. So you can see these are all engaging resources to connect your kids to the books that they are reading. But I want to start with something you can't get anywhere else, and that's our Meet the Author recordings. These Meet the Author recordings answer the questions like, why did you write this book? One of the number one things that kids want to know. They go behind the scenes and tell about the hardships of writing or research or the whole what was the aha moment for them? Why did they feel the need to write this? So we're going to take a peek at some of this. You can see it's about 2 minutes long. And one of the beautiful things is it meets the needs of lots of readers and listeners, because I can listen to it while I read it. I can also come up to the top and change it to over 100 languages. So let's just take a peek and listen. Oh, I can also change for how I see it. I can change it to dark mode if that's easier for someone to read. So let's take a listen.
Hello, my name is Lynn Brunell. I'm the author of Haiku Ew, Celebrating the Disgusting Side of Nature, illustrated by Julia Patton. I love being able to introduce the idea of exploration and wonder to kids, right? And so some kids like poetry, some kids like gross, some kids like walking in the woods. But I think, it's really fun to be able to have something that is poetry, something simple like haiku, which is syllabic 5-7-5, and then with that, which is this beautiful old poetry form that celebrated the glorious wonders of nature, to actually look up beneath the curtain too, because there's some really gross things in nature that are so fascinating. And what a great way to get kids to ask questions, right? To kind of look at some things, shift the lens just a little bit, and then think, wow, it's not just gross, it's cool too. It's really interesting.
I'm going to pause right there. Isn't that fun? So we get behind the scenes and we know why the author wrote the book. But notice that over here on the left, I can see the cover. I can see the author's face. I can also, because this is a picture book, I can view an illustration so I can see inside. So you can see it's expository nonfiction with the poem on this side. And then we have facts about the poem on the left-hand side. I can share this page. There's an ebook preview. So I can pop right here. And because we are, again, are part of Overdrive, it will take you out into Overdrive, whether you have Sora or Libby. It's going to let you see just a taste of the book. Great for students and readers to preview if this is a book they would like to have. Great for teaching. Great for your hook. And there is our one of our little poems. I can play a jigsaw puzzle. And this is super fun, either as a bell ringer for a classroom teacher or at the beginning or end of a story time. The kids can pick any puzzle or any book that they want simply by typing the title in the search box and then click on the puzzle piece. If you want to teach vocabulary, you can play word search and you can create the word search using vocabulary that's inside the books. But I would be totally sad if I didn't play for you one of the haiku. So I'm going to jump down. That's another cool thing about this Meet the Author recording. I can jump. So here we go. Here's one of the haiku.
Fully formed toadlets pop out of bumps on mom's back, erupting like zits. Hey, so do you know what's really gross? Suriname toad birth. The flat marine toad.
So we saw the poem, we heard the poem, we looked at it while we listened to it, and then she's going to read a little bit more about those toads and what happens as those toads are born. I can also go back into here, and there are other kinds of resources that you will see. I can see, for those of you who are librarians, all those MARC record details like the genre, the curriculum area, the subject headings, and more. There's a link to Marketplace if you're a Sora person. You see about the authors, author interviews, and it's a variety of media for that. You've got your book guides, activities, and lessons. Notice that these are all with a red card. These are all resources you're not going to see anywhere but on TeachingBooks. So if you're doing a book club or you're doing small reading groups, you can use these as assessment pieces or for students to use as note-taking ideas. If you work with homeschoolers, these resources are also great for that. Now, how did I even know about Haiku Ooh was on the Kentucky Bluegrass list? So if I back it up and I go back to my toggle menu, on the left-hand side, you have your reading list. One of the things the TeachingBooks team does is gather resources just for you. And one of the things they do is compile all the Kentucky lists. So here are all the lists. So this is one thing you might search for as you're getting your feet wet into TeachingBooks. If you participate in the Bluegrass Award or in the Winnie's Christmas Book Club. So we have this year's nominees and we have next year nominees. So if I jump ahead, we started with the Bluegrass, that was 3 to 5, but let's TeachingBooks is also for high school. So let me go to high school new nominees, so the 25-26. And again, here are the 10 nominees with all the resources for them. And then now let's take a look at the filters on the left-hand side. So you have all kinds of ways you can dig down to find just what you want after you've done some searching. You can look at which books hit a particular curriculum or which books have a particular genre. Lots of genre. Cultural experiences at TeachingBooks, you can search specifically for a particular cultural experience. You can say just any cultural experience. You can look for award-winning titles. You can look for most recent. And as you can see, because this is a book award nominee list, they're all pretty recent. And then here's the thing that makes TeachingBooks different from every other list of books is the resources that go with them, all in one place. So again, you will see the Meet the Author recordings. You will see book guides, activities, and lessons. Scrolling down, I might see also the book previews, like the ebook previews I showed you. The book readings, which are audio books, which is where we're going to go now. So I'm going to click to audiobooks. And now I have Black Girl, You Are an Atlas. So let's listen to a bit of an audiobook excerpt for that. Again, I'm going to jump down to the complete poem.
A Black Girl Gives Thanks. For the aunties by blood and by choice, who knew how to give warning by look or clearing throat, or sitting forward just enough to get the point across. For every peppermint candy and Werther's original smuggled from hand to hand on Sunday mornings.
So you get a little taste of the audiobook, but it also sometimes tells you how to say the characters' names, gives you the tone of the book. And in this case, it's narrated by the author. So it's another way to bring the author into your school or library. If I go back to, let's just go back. So I have, again, my Kentucky Bluegrass Award. So I can look at those Bluegrass Awards and they're going to be under the toggle menu, your reading list, and you'll see this year's and next year's. But another way you can search is just search for whatever you are going to use. So for example, before you got here, Amy and I were talking about Into the Rapids, which comes out today. And sadly, if you live in Kentucky, you might identify with this story with too many rains that blew up the river and flooded homes and broke the bridge. And the poor main character, she was supposed to go on a survival trip and she can't get there because she can't cross the bridge. So we were talking about that this morning. So I can type books that I'm thinking about. I can look for authors. If I want to know, I want to do a Tommy DePaola thing. So if I go to Tommy DePaola, I just type him and I find my author. And then I can look at all his books on this page. I can sort them by year published, and I can tell you about Where Are You, Bronte? Brand new this year. It's his last book, newly illustrated or completely illustrated by Barbara McClintock in the style of Tommy DePaulo. And how do you say his name? Right here, like Pow. Tommy, like Tommy, and Paula, right here. You can listen to it when you pause the tape. But this is his brand new book. And if you're a dog person, I'm telling you, even if you're not, you're going to need tissues. Where Are You, Bronte? You can also search for things like Shakespeare. Maybe you're supporting an English class, or maybe you're a homeschool teacher. I can go to Macbeth and I can see so many things to help me engage my students or my children with the books that they're reading. Over here, you can see there's 50 lesson plans, including the ones you'll only find at TeachingBooks. But then we've corralled and curated so many reliable resources to help your students tackle Shakespeare and really be engaged in the work, from 60-second lessons to vocabulary and more. Maybe you have also seen the little Sora guy. If you have Sora at your school, you will now have Sora Discovery. And anytime you look up something, if you browse, for example, which is another way of searching, and I go see all collections, I could browse, let's say, grades 1 to 2. And if I have any books that I have on Sora, there will be a link to that book reading, and I can see what my options are. Here's Last Stop on Market Street, and there's a complete audiobook and a complete ebook. So I can decide which one I want. Click there, it takes me right to Sora. There's also a Sora wish list that we can turn on for you. So you can contact me and I'll help you with that. And the wish list says, oh, well, if I go back and I see there's no Sora under Charlotte's Web, but we want that in an ebook or audiobook, your students or your teachers can request that, and you'll get a monthly report if you're the Sora coordinator. So that's something you can ask me about later. So you can go back to the browse. This is another way to look at the filters. So I can browse by grade level, curriculum, culture, or even resource. So many ways that I can explore what's on TeachingBooks. So now we've done some searching. Maybe I want to save something. So let's do past 3 years. Let's use our filters. Let's go 5th and 6th. Let's go any award. So I've got recent award winners in the 5th and 6th grade, and I want the ones that have a book trailer, because that's a great engagement tool. So now I have 378. So I have way too many. But let's just say, for practice sake, I'm going to go by the ones that have won the most awards. And then I've got multiple ways to create a list. I can add multiple titles simply by saying select them all, add them to a list, and then I'll create a new list, new award winning titles. So now I've saved my list. Now the cool thing is that once I've saved my list, I can share it. So I can go share, and I can give it to you by copying it. And the cool thing is that nobody that I give this list to has to log in. They get immediate access. So it's a great way to send your summer reading list, your supplemental extra credit list, your required reading list. It's a great way to make a list of books that you want to shop for, because TeachingBooks can also be used for collection development. You can also make a bookmark of your book list and stick it in the books that you send home. You can make a label sheet for titles that you have that you're going to teach, so that everyone in them will have all the resources. And then you can also share the resources freely on digital platforms. So if you want to put it on Blue Sky or Instagram or Facebook, you can share it with your community. You have the copyright ability to do that. So you can also save individually. Let's go to the next page just to show you what I mean. So I'm going to go to the next page down at the bottom. Oh, because that's my list. I forgot what I was doing. So where'd my list go? Tomorrow. So I can go here and I can go back to your reading list, and it's not here because it's my personal list. So now I find it and it's right here. So once I have it right there, again, I can share it. I can download it and give it to my book vendor and buy those books. I can play a concentration game, so many things. But wait, there's more. Let's say, for example, we go back to the Door of No Return. You can see at the top that there are 12 awards for this book. I can click and see what they are. This book is on, or was on, 17 state lists. Great for documentation of why you want the book. And then you have the book resume. This is also something you won't get anywhere else but at TeachingBooks for all of the books that are on the site. So whether you need it for a challenge, and being reactive, or you want to be proactive and make sure you've selected books that are just right for your audience, this will give you all the professional information, from the complete book awards to all of those awards that it's won, the state awards, primary sources. Again, you can listen to the listen to the audio example, read the ebook sample. You can print a report. It's shareable. Again, using this share arrow, you can give it to whoever you need to. You can also share those individual resources. So the ones that I've played for you. So say, for example, this Meet the Author recording or this video book trailer. So I can come here, and if I want to share this with someone, again, I use the share arrow. And I can, make a shelf talker. So the shelf talker will be personalized to your school district or your public library system, and it will tell you what kind of resource it is. Want to watch a book trailer, want to listen to an audiobook, and so on. When anyone scans that code, it takes you directly to it. So if you pause the tape and practice, you can see that it takes you exactly where you want it to go. You can put these inside a book, put them on your displays. You can also change the language if you'd like to. There's so many things, and we've run really, honestly, out of time today, but I want to just draw your attention to a couple of things. In addition to browsing, it's for students, so I can go to For Students and see all the reasons that a student might use it. I can go into For Educators, and I can look at, you're going to want to sign up for the Early Literacy Toolkit, because there's so many amazing things to help you support phonics instruction and phonological awareness, from collections with books that you already have to printables that you can do with those same books and more. And then if I go over to Teaching Books for Libraries, same thing for readers, how to find a book for them, how to get some help for homework, homeschool support. And then if I go for professionals, there's everything from library programming to summer reading, even collection analysis. So many things. But I want you to know there's always help. So if you go to help, or you scroll to the bottom of the page, you will see upcoming webinars for the entire world of teaching books. There's training, supports, and resources. You can contact us anytime. And we're working on creating even more tutorials that you can do whenever you want. If I go back here, I just want to remind you again about the shelf talkers and shelf cards for our authors. You can also put these on your displays and draw attention, increase awareness that they have teaching books. A lot of people don't know they have it yet. And as a reminder, it is paid for through the state, so you have access to those resources. Here's a label inside a series. We didn't even have a chance to talk about series. Share in those bookmarks, put them on your circ desk, put them at your reference desk. Put a flyer in your classrooms so people are aware that they have it. And then again, if you have Sora, make sure you reach out to me and I can help you with Sora discovery. And for the wish list, There also are free resources from Sora, like we just launched Sora Sweet Reads, which is a free ebook, audiobook program that lasts throughout the summer. Keep your kids reading, even if they can't get to the school, even if they can't get to the public library. If they have a phone, they can participate in Sora Sweet Reads. So we've talked about searching, we've talked about saving, we talked about sharing, and I gave you a tip of, but wait, there's more. So if you want to know more, the last thing I want to tell you is that there is help and support available. You can reach out to me if you want to set something up for your district or for your public library system. Training is part of this project. So I am happy, again, to schedule something that works for you, and make sure you get in the loop for things that we have scheduled specifically for Kentucky and for the world of teaching books. I'm Deborah Salyer, and on behalf of Amy Olson and Kim Davick and the teams on both sides, we are delighted and honored to be part of the resources that are available to you throughout Kentucky. And if we can do anything to help you as you get started, just reach out to us, and we're happy to get you moving and sharing and engaging resources for your students and readers. Thanks for joining us.